A manual for a woman citizen of the Islamic State. Marriage anytime from the age of 9 and ideally by 16 or 17. Education permitted, but only until the age of 15. All this comes from a document translated from Arabic into English by the counter-extremism think tank Quilliam. Charlie Winter is one of its researchers. Good morning.
Good morning.
Where did you find it?
I found it on a forum called Al-Platform Media, which is used exclusively by Islamic State supporters. It's where propaganda and documents get uploaded before they hit social media, so before they're circulated by supporters on Twitter and Facebook.
And therefore you think it is to be regarded as a blueprint for the Islamic State's view of women?
Yes, and the way that it was circulated by very heavy hitters in Islamic State's social media support system, it does suggest that it is a legitimate document, and all the branding on it's consistent with what I've been tracking.
What else does it say? I pulled out a few of the relevant parts about marriage and education, but what kind of picture overall does it paint of the expectation of women?
Well, this is one of the most interesting things about it for me. It cuts through a lot of the romanticism and adventurism that Western female jihadists have for Islamic State. So they give an idea that women have a very important role to play. And that is true. They do have an important role to play according to this document, but it is only a support role. And that's something which is very, very clear throughout the 10,000 or so words.
Not a fighting role.
Not a fighting role. There are some provisions that can be made for fighting, but those are very, very narrow, and those are actually mentioned in the document.
And you think that many of the young women, the jihadis, prospective jihadis who've gone from here to Syria, they are doing that because they want a fighting role?
Well, I think that there's probably a difference, a pretty big difference between what British female jihadis are saying on Twitter and Facebook to what the reality of it is. And this document is interesting because it actually cuts through a lot of that. It gives a more realistic picture of what the idealised vision of the Islamic State is for women.
Is it aimed at women in the West, this document?
No. It's if it was aimed at women in the West, it would have been translated. It's very clearly aimed at women who live in the Arabian Peninsula. There are lots of references to the things in Saudi Arabia. In fact, it attacks Saudi Arabia in particular, the monarchy there. But it's clearly aimed and written for an audience which is used to a very austere interpretation of Islam.
Charlie Winter, thank you.